You're listening to the SojuTalk Nation Podcast, Episode 9.
On today's episode, we talk about this week in music, state of the nation, and bring on Therese from the SojuTalk Nation for a guest segment.
So sit back and chill with friends. You're listening to The After Show with the SojuTalk Nation. Welcome to the SojuTalk Nation Podcast, a chill discussion on this week in the SojuTalk Nation. We're recording on Wednesday, March 10, 2021. I'm your host, Crispy, and joining me as always is Koala.
Hello.
How are you, Koala?
My head hurts.
I'm sorry. Well, hopefully this podcast is the medicine you need to feel better, and
helps.
spending time with friends. I'm sure is a nice remedy to all of your aches and pains and the things that ail you. Was that helpful in any way?
Totally. Thank you. Man.
No problem. That's what I'm here for. Some announcements at the top. We have a special guest segment today. Therese will be joining us a little bit later. She has an idea for a topic discussion, and we're bringing her on to lend her expertise in this very specific discussion point. So stay tuned for that. Celebrating the nation, we have one birthday this week. On March 11, we have Ethan on the SojuTalk Nation Discord server. I think Ethan is a patron, so he is a Herald's homie, so his name will be Blue. But if you're on the server, go ahead and give him a early birthday greeting, a belated birthday greeting, or just spam him out on his birthday. It'll be tomorrow by the time this releases, it'll be the day before. So yeah, just give him a belated birthday greetings. That should be fine. Anything else, Koala?
Nope.
Okay. So let's move right into this week in SojuTalk music. We have 3 songs. We have Very Very with Getaway, iKon with Why, and Rain featuring Chungha with Why Don't We? All right, so let's start at the top with Very Very's Getaway. And the crew had some interesting things to say about this song and music video in particular. I think Doug had actually come on to voice chat with you and I to watch the music videos together. Let's just say his reactions were very memorable. So he was actually a lot more open about his reaction on the show than I had expected, because he said a lot of very similar things to us with a little bit more detail and excitement. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
So Koala, what did you think about the music video and Doug focusing on certain suggestive acts towards food?
Well, thanks to him, now my focus is only on the MV and not on the song anymore. Like, I don't remember the song, but I will forever remember Jack just talking about that sandwich, or just the whole scenes.
Yeah.
Like, most importantly, like the last scene where he was talking about, like, it could have been viral if only.
So let's just say it. Just for everyone who maybe missed the main show for whatever reason, Doug had said that he feels that when the two dudes got super close to each other and cradled each other's faces, that they should have just made out and kissed in order for it to go viral. I don't know if that would. I mean, like Warren said, like, you're probably sacrificing the rest of your career. But at the same time, it's like, well, if you're doing it on purpose and it's like meant to be kind of artistic,
yeah, oh my god,
yeah, I guess. Yo, like, So just like you, I don't remember the song very much because, well, one, it's a boy group, and
Oh
you
god.
know I don't spend too much time listening to boy group songs. But the music video was very memorable, and yes, like very like aggressive and hedonistic, like Doug had mentioned on the show, um, and a lot of attention and focus to uh, caressing and being very intimate with food. I didn't know it was going to translate into being physically close to another one of your members, but you know it got there, and now we have Doug's reaction forever on the main show. So
Yay.
yeah, any final thoughts about what the crew thought about the song?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think very very is in the right direction insofar as I can recognize their name. I am always interested to watch a music video, and I think from where I stand as far as like my interest level in boy groups, I think they're doing enough to keep themselves kind of in the forefront in that like Gen 4 era of boy groups, and like at least keep them exposed and keep them in the conversation. So I mean, very very keep doing you, but yeah, it's I'm sure it means a lot more to people who are boy group stans, and especially very very stans. So yeah, let's move on to another group that is a little bit older. They've been in the game a little bit longer than very very. A group I think that's a little bit closer to your heart, Koala. We have iKon with YYY. They're from YG, and you know, Koala, let me. I'll give it to you. Tell me what you felt about the song and kind of what this song means overall with the history of iKon.
I think it was kind of surprising that they did a ballad. I mean, I know that not everything revolves around Kingdom, but it was like they haven't had a comeback for over a year, and now they're coming to Kingdom, so I was prepared to have a more upbeat song, but I'm also happy with this like more ballady song that's pretty much in line with the past releases they had, because I think you could put Goodbye Road and Apology in like that same group of songs that they did, and it fits them, and I overall really like it, I would say.
Yeah, I'm with Doug on this one. This is my favorite song of the week as far as new releases. Um, I mean, partly because I I think it's very
Sarah.
very catchy.
I don't know
Yes,
what you mean.
just like that, Koala. But I think our fandom for like YG artists is very apparent. I mean, we've made no
I don't know what you mean.
we've made no efforts to hide the
What?
fact that we tend to like a lot of things YG produces, just because like the style of music, the hip
I
hop.
can
Like,
openly say that I'm biased.
yeah, I mean, there's a hip hop blend to the things that they do, like whether or not you feel like they're executed a certain way. And I can also see like Warren's point about like kind of the music production being a little uneven, or things that didn't align for him. Like I totally understand that, but for me, it's like, oh, this is kind of like the dance ballad song that I like. And also because I know the members well enough. I mean, I'm not like a super fan that watched them all the way from the show that they were on, but I don't even remember the name of the show. It was such a long time ago. But I mean, I know iKon, so for me, like, this is a really cool song. Like, I know the members, and
You like Bobby.
I do like Bobby. Bobby's album is dope. If you haven't listened to Bobby's album, go listen to Bobby's album. And I do like the comparison of Big Bang and their dance ballads in the past. So I wanted to ask you, how do you feel like the song is a progression from the things that iKon has done in the past? And how do you feel like you feel Big Bang's influence has kind of permeated the sound for Winner and iKon in the past 5 or 6 years?
So, are we talking about ballads or dance ballads? Because I think Doug referenced If You, and If You is not a dance ballad. It's just a ballad, so to speak. So,
Okay. I mean, I can see that too. I to me, when they said dance ballad, it made sense because there was choreography and there was a lot more movement. It wasn't just them like being moody. But if you tell me it's a ballad, I mean, I can believe that too. I can accept that. That's totally fine.
But in general, the past ballads of iKon have all been produced by B.I, if I remember correctly. I think so. He's probably like on every credit for every song they ever had. So I will just guess that he also produced like Goodbye and Goodbye Road and Apology. And this one would be the first one without him. Even though Hanbin did not participate in this one, I think it's like a nice way to have a fresh start. It's not too far away from their past music, but it's still kind of a bit different from what they have been doing. Especially if you look back to Dive from last year, that was more like that Western sound. And now they are going back to this ballad. I'm really interested to see how they will like change up their music style, and especially on Kingdom, because I think everyone on Kingdom will end up with the song they will be releasing. So I'm curious to see how that will turn out and what direction that will go.
Yeah, I'm really curious too. Just because I mean, like we've mentioned, like Kingdom seems like there was going to be a very heavy performance aspect, right? With the 3 groups that they had announced, them being a little bit younger and a little bit more part of the era of like dance and like stage performance heavy. So it did come as a surprise when iKon was announced. But after watching this music video, seeing where they are musically, seeing that they definitely can be performers and have a strong foundation in choreography, I mean, it does line up well that, like Doug said, they could be the dark horse to win everything. Just because, I mean, they're very polished, right? Like you can definitely tell they've been in the game for a long time. And that might be something that separates them from their other groups that are more dance heavy and focused.
I'm just hoping that they will like be like Oh My Girl and ONF from WM, that they won't win, but they will have like a huge push and a huge win situation after this.
Yeah, that would be a really great outcome too, right? Just because there are such quality competitors, I think the exposure would be really good, especially for the generation of fans who may have missed iKon. Just because, K-pop, always tends to be a little bit younger. But yeah, I mean, it's very exciting that everything's kind of coming together now. And that, I mean, I think YG is surprising us all with just how frequently they're releasing music and how much money they're putting into like their actual musicians now. So good job, YG as a company. You're kind of doing good things out there as far as giving your fans what they've longed for a long time. So yeah, any closing thoughts or things you're hoping for iKon moving forward or with Kingdom?
Please just don't take too long to come back after Kingdom. I need music to listen to and stream.
Yeah. Well, like you said, Kingdom will hopefully work towards a brand new release. So
I mean, it will be a single. I'm like kind of hoping for like a mini album soon, because this was also a digital single. So
yeah.
But probably I will end up with like what do they call it? Single album with like 2 songs.
A single album, or probably part of the Kingdom compilation.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, I do remember in Queendom, AOA released an album like maybe a month after, or maybe a month or 2 months right after, including their Queendom song. So it's like a nice like example of like, oh, like they can translate like their success on the show to an immediate release. And then Mamamoo was also very soon right after. I don't think they included the Queendom song, but they had a full album. So like those are like 2 like pretty top tier, more veteran groups. But it was Oh My Girl that came out months later that everyone was like, oh, this is it. So I mean, I think they have a really nice window. I would even say like 6 months after the show to really capture the audience again and really like take advantage of their exposure. So I mean, I think it's all good things moving forward for iKon. So let's move on to Rain, Why Don't We?
Oh God.
Featuring Chungha. This is a collaboration. There's a male performer. There's a female performer. I happen to like the female performer quite a bit. But okay, so Koala, what are your initial impressions about this song and the impressions about what the crew had mentioned on the show?
First of all, surprising amount of shirts on Rain in this MV.
Okay.
Surprising amount compared to the performance video.
Yes, I was just going to mention that. So the performance video came out before the music video. Rain is shirtless. He's wearing a blazer. He does not have a shirt. In the music video, he's very covered. So, okay. All right, Rain, you do you. But what did you think about the comments that the song was made for the music video as opposed to the other way around? Typically, when you think of like music, where you want to produce something and then artistically express that visually later.
I definitely noticed that the MV was like more on the upper end of the production, so it seemed like very high production. But I didn't think of the song being made for the MV. I watched the performance video first and I quite enjoyed the song, so the thought didn't really come to me that it is the MV that was so outstanding and not the song, because I thought the chorus was pretty like, it was repetitive, but it was memorable as well. So it was interesting to see that the crew thought that way.
Yeah, the song, I mean, what you hope for like a Chungha and Rain song is something that like really captures you and really like sticks in your head. So like I can understand a song wanting to have like a repetitive nature to it because you want to focus on like the visuals, you want to focus on the dancing. And I think it was Warren who mentioned the dance vibe, like the house runway style, like really took off starting last year. And this is kind of like the culmination of like, oh, we've done everything in that genre. We're kind of like, I don't want to say recycling, but we're using tropes that you're already familiar with. And I think because we've heard this style for about a year, it's not as impactful as it would have been if it was just like the first song in the genre. But I do still like the song quite a bit, and I just like seeing Chungha dance. So I'm a very simple person. It doesn't take a lot for me to like something from a female artist, or especially a female artist that I consider a top tier of mine. So
yeah. God. Were you a bit sad when Warren said it may be too much Chungha right now?
Well, I have some opinions about that. I don't exactly think that it's too much of Chungha. I think it's her release strategy of maintaining her exposure and maintaining herself in the public eye, because she has like this full-length album that she wants to release in parts, essentially. So
see what I'm thinking about? Rain is also quite often like present right now.
Yeah.
He had his collab with JYP, now he had Chungha, and now he's having another MV with Jackson. So I don't know what that is about, but both of these two artists are like coming back frequently with more releases. It seems like they're never resting.
Yeah. It might also just be a product of like last year, right? Where they honestly didn't release that much music between the two of them until like the end of the year. I mean, Chungha had her pre-releases, but it wasn't really like a main focus that it was leading up to an album like so soon, right? It was like a pre-release like early last year, and then it was like 3 or 4 months later, and then another 3 or 4 months. So you could almost like reason that, oh, those are just like regular releases, kind of like in the exposure. But for Rain, it was like beginning of last year and then nothing. And now it's like, oh, let me have Rain every 2 weeks. It's like, oh, okay, I see. Yeah,
Let's be honest, he just wants to flex his abs.
Literally. Well, you know what? I think it took him the entire year to diet and exercise that much
Oh my
to be
god.
extremely chiseled. You know, you want to like fine tune everything. I'm sure he was already like a very attractive like physical specimen beforehand, but you really want to like get the details, especially with him being a little bit older than the other idols. You know, he's gotta show that he can still do it. He can still hang with like a 20-something-year-old Jackson Wang. You know.
Oh my god.
Any final thoughts on the song and the music video and the comments this week?
Nope.
Yeah. So compared to last week, I feel like the discussion was very focused. It was very concise. You know, 3 pretty different songs, 3 pretty nice perspectives, and I do appreciate the crew being able to balance that from week to week. And I know some of that's not in their control, just with the releases and the types of discussions on the internet and types of ways that people receive certain songs, at least as far as the Korean public. But yeah, I just wanted to shout out the crew there, because conversations like this that are a little bit more toned down and low key are kind of nice from week to week. But let's move on to the Spice chart.
Did not expect this.
Yeah. Let me just make a comment. I write down Spice chart on our script, but I think it's actually the Soju chart, right?
Wait.
Spice King Soju chart.
Let me look it up. Talk.
No problem. So going
Soju chart. We fucked up.
It's all right. We're gonna leave all of this in. It's okay. So the Soju chart this week for the March 10th episode of the SojuTalk Nation podcast is Sunmi with Tail at 1, Wonho with Lose at 2, and Shiny Don't Call Me at number 3. So let me first off and say, on the main show, it sounded like there was going to be a Clown Fiesta circus again.
We ended up with this.
It's the exact same list as last week.
It's literally the same.
Math, that's all I have to say is math. Sure. Koala, what did you think?
How can Shiny still be up there? Oh my god.
Anita.
And you can also tell that the opinions are getting further away from each other, besides Tail, because Anita still has Shiny on first. Warren has something else every week, and Doug has something else every week as well, but it's different from whatever Warren has. So we end up with this, which ends up the exact same chart for the second week.
Yeah, that's a very interesting turn of events, right? As different as their opinions are every week, there's so much variance that ultimately it reverts back to the mean. Is that how that works? Is that how stats work? Someone explain. Math majors, help me. I mean, they're good songs, and personal preference, Wonho's song is not any better or worse than like iKon song, or I mean Rain's song. So like I don't understand or see like how new songs don't get onto like the top 3 because of that. But at the same time, if you're, I don't know, like replayability, how often do you listen to the song? How much does it grow on you? Because that Shiny song, I had no idea it was going to be on this for as long as it is.
I mean, it's a grower. I still don't like it really much.
Yeah. And they even said like the song's almost done with promotions in Korea, and it's still here with us at the SojuTalk Nation. So I don't know, man.
But I've noticed Doug's taste is like overlapping with mine. I'm like pretty much. So my opinion has been pretty much just like Doug for the past 3 weeks.
Okay.
And every time, the hopes for ONF last week destroyed. The hopes for iKon this week destroyed.
Okay, I wanna point that out a little bit. So I feel like the amount of time you, myself, and Doug spend hanging out on voice chat has some way influenced the 3 of us to having very similar taste in music all of a sudden. Because it just surprises me every so often where it's like I'll say something and then Doug will say like, "Oh yeah, me too." I was like, "What?" Like, sick, dude. I guess we like the same songs. We have the same bias. What?
Oh my
A
god.
good example is Brave Girls, and we happen to like Yoojung. So there you go. Yeah. Any final thoughts about this list? It's the same as last week.
This remains the same for the next week. I don't know what to think.
Impossible. It can't.
It's Rosie. It's a bunch of boy groups. Please.
I think Doug
Just-
will just give it number one, regardless if it's not.
Doug, just do it, please.
Well, you know what? I think
Yeah,
it's actually going to
yeah,
be really
yeah.
good. You know, I'm going to be really optimistic and think Rosie's song is going to be really good just because.
You would like it anyway.
Yeah, well, like Gone was really good, and I feel like it's going to be the same indie vibe. Like she pretty much made
Well-
2 songs that are very similar.
I'm just thinking about whether it will also be in full English.
Mm,
Because it seems like it will be.
yeah, it seems like they're really pushing Rosie to be, I mean, essentially like
Yossi.
a Western
Yossi.
friendly musician, like an indie musician, right? But yeah, I'm very excited for Rosie stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Really?
We'll
I
talk
didn't
about that
notice.
more at the end of the show. So a
Oh
little
god.
bit of tease for everyone there. So that's music in the SojuTalk Nation this week. Let us know what you think on Discord. I don't know what happened on the show. Just just talk about it.
We
in
just
Soju-
ended up with this.
Yeah, it's just some stuff. But yeah, now let's move on to State of the Nation this week. Doug talked a lot about anime, so if you're a fan of anime, please hit up Doug. He has a lot to say. I think he's watched more anime than I have in the past 5 years in the past 2 weeks. So
But you're also slow.
Like-
Like in general.
I have a short attention span.
You can't binge watch.
Like I watch a
Yes.
lot of things. Like that's the thing with me. It's like I haven't binged anything like in years because I like to watch like an episode of this show, an episode of this show. Yeah, so that's my problem.
I also do that, but
Well, you know. Let's move on
let's continue.
to the Twice World Cup. Okay, so this week the crew used the World Cup format to determine a winner of their favorite and best Twice song. So let's make that distinction. The opinions are a combination of what they like the most, so what songs they felt they had an attachment or a connection with, but also what they tried to objectively say was like the best Twice song. So, you know, it made for a lot of fun back and forth conversation. And yeah, so to call you being the number one girl stan on the server, what did you think about this format for Twice? Were there any egregious oversights? Were there any things that you disagreed with?
I'm pretty indifferent about it. I don't have a song that I despise. I think my number one would be Cry for Me. I don't know. I have no clue, to be honest. Like I would listen to every song. I wouldn't skip any of those. And I don't like any song more. I think I don't like Dance the Night Away and more, if I think about it. But those are like the only ones. And they didn't even pass the first round, so that says everything.
Yeah. I think Twice, like looking at the list as a whole, their discography is very, I don't even know if this is a word, but I'm going to say it, listenable. Or it's like if you put them all in a list chronologically of like when they released, you can definitely hear a progression, but they all sound similar enough where it's like, oh, this is really pleasant. This is Twice. Like I can listen to this entire playlist all the way through. And I think that's a testament to JYP as a creative head for everything that Twice does. Not to say that he produced every song, because I think he only produced 2 or 3 songs. But obviously he has a lot of say in the direction Twice has creatively. And it goes to show that it goes a long way making a consistent product that people can expect just because it's available, right? Um, so I will go on my top three, and Koala is highlighting some stuff on the script because I had messed up, and that's okay because I remember off the top of my head exactly which ones. Okay, so my personal top three, and this is the songs that I like the most. They had a special place in my heart. I remember the songs at different points in my life and kind of what they meant for my experience with Twice at that moment. So number one is Feel Special, just because that was a very emotional but very like real connective point as far as like Mina's journey and like mental health, talking about mental health in Korean culture, Korean entertainment, but then also for anyone who is going through that, for it to be okay to reach out to the people around you because they will be there for you unconditionally. Number two is Like Ooh Ah, because I still love that music video to this day. It was a great debut. Nothing more to say about that song because it's just amazing. And number three is Cheer Up, because I can't get the song out of my head. It's amazing. Who doesn't like Jiho in a cheerleader outfit going cheer up baby, cheer up baby.
Shut up.
But then I made a separate list of the songs that I feel like are best for new fans or cornerstone songs for Twice's sound, right? So number one I have TT, number two I have Likey, and number three I have Fancy. So I have it in that order because I feel like that's a nice progression of their history, of like the different eras. But I also feel like those capture not just like Twice's sound, but the sound that's at the time, right? Of like that period in K-pop and how a group like Twice can really capture it and like refine that sound for an era. So yeah, any thoughts about those songs, Koala?
Nope.
Yeah. Some interesting matchups. I think that first one, I Can't Stop Me versus Feel Special. Oof.
Feel Special versus Fancy. Oof.
Oof. Round two. And then Cheer Up versus Fancy in round three, which, it's understandable. I did want to point out that Joe Kep mentioned this format is really fun for like other topics, but he would have liked to see either like a tier list, or for me, like I try to find a way to objectively rank all the songs like 1 through 20, however many songs there are, and then make it like a 1 versus 20, 2 versus 19, instead of I don't know Warren's process in putting the matchups together in round one.
Isn't it random?
If it's random,
I'm pretty sure he just puts in the names and the pictures, and it's random.
Oh, okay. So that might have been the reason for a lot of like the awkward matchups. But yeah, I mean, if it's random, obviously, like, Warren, you're good. Like no criticism there. But it's just some of the matchups were very let's just say, it seemed a little too early in a lot of cases. So yeah. Koala, what boy group do you think the crew should do this for next?
I don't think they should do a boy group because I'm pretty sure that either Doug or Warren won't know like all the songs mentioned.
I mean, you never know. I don't know Doug and Warren's taste for boy groups, so I can't tell you either, but
BTS would be like the only group I would guess they all know the songs of.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then there would be a fire because BTS.
Oh, hell no.
Army would go after the
I don't do that, crew. Just do Weird Foods again or something like that.
Yeah, let's not do BTS because let's just say they have passionate fans.
I don't know what they could do next.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully they go back to like something chill. Because like I do.
Maybe guilty pleasures. Are there like weird guilty pleasures?
Yeah.
Warren likes to edit weird stuff and just put in weird stuff. So.
Well, like Warren's thought process is very interesting. He always has like. I don't know. He always has interesting things to say, regardless of like what the topic is. So.
His arguments are very interesting.
Super interesting. He's a very out of the box thinker, that Warren guy.
Yes.
Oh man. Oh well, that kind of wraps up the World Cup for this week. A very fun conversation, a very K-pop centric conversation this week. Again, not that we don't look forward to or appreciate like the K-pop discussion, but it does bring for natural tension. Let's just say that. And that's good, not bad. Just saying it'll happen. So yeah, looking forward to anything else they do in the future with this format. And balanced games are always a thing, so hopefully they get back to that sometime soon. Next up, we have a very special guest this week on the SojuTalk Nation. She is part of a collective of friends who are quite parched, who require a lot of water, who are, some would say, thirsty on the server. We have Therese. Welcome to the show, Therese.
Hello.
So Therese has this, scientific idea of exploring K-pop fandom in a very in-depth way. And today she's bringing us the segment of Soju Simps, where
oh my god,
she will be focusing on a group or an idol, attempting to answer the question, why do fans love them, through a more research, science base of knowledge. So this week, Therese will be exploring a group that had a song last week, On and Off. And Therese, take it away. What did you find about this group?
Okay, well, yeah, my idea in general is just like, since there are so many idol groups, like Brave Girls that not everyone knows, but everyone's realizing their songs are really great. I figured there's got to be other groups out there that people would like if they knew more about them. So On and Off was one of those groups that caught my attention with their album, My Name Is, recently, and I was like, I want to know more about these. So I gave myself about a week to really dive into that rabbit hole. And yeah, this is basically what I found. And I know, Koala, you're a friend of, or a friend, a fan.
Friend and a fan, yes.
Also friends, you know them, right? Of On and Off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So yeah, On and Off, abbreviated ONF, is a 6-member boy group under WM Entertainment. They debuted in August of 2017, but I think they should have abbreviated it NOF because this group gives no Fs.
Oh my god.
This is why we brought her. This is gold. Keep going, simp.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Keep going.
So WM Entertainment, if you don't know them, they also have Oh My Girl, Yua, of course, and B1A4. On and Off themselves has about 6 albums plus 2 OSTs, but that's not including the Japanese releases. And their fandom name is Fuse, which is a combination of On and Off and Muse. And like a fuse's purpose on a circuit, On and Off fans rely on and give each other strength. So cute.
All right, let me just first say your research is on point. I did not know 90% of any of this. So
yeah.
You didn't ask. I could have told you. So it's your fault.
That's right. See, this is why you need someone to be there to tell you these stupid little facts that are really cute and might get you into a new group.
Very interesting so far. Aside from like the music, I am more interested now to learn more. But I did want to ask, what is the common denominator with this group and other fandoms to hook you in? Or do you feel like they do things very uniquely from other groups?
Excellent question. So I actually posted on the On and Off subreddit, just like saying, hey, I really like their music and I want to know more about them. What do you guys like about them? So some of the answers I got were pretty definitively like, oh, I love the production of their music videos and their songs are really great. Like the people that compose them and write them and produce them. And they have the most chaotic members, as you probably saw on Road to Kingdom. It was a lot of yelling and overacting reactions. And in general, they're just very chaotic, which is always a plus for me in groups.
Koala, is this kind of the reason why you fell in love with the group, or did you have other quirks about the group that are less known that connected with you?
I just liked the music a lot, and I knew them like halfway from Mix 9, so I guess it was just easy to get to know them better, because I really just started to stand them since their debut in 2017. Just followed them along since then.
Yeah. So I know a lot of, there are a few Discord members I've talked to that are big fans of On and Off. Like, shout out to Nina, said she had been following them since Mix 9. And On and Off caught their eye because they were all really, like, they had good attitudes and they worked really hard, which was very true when I was watching a lot of their variety shows and stuff, and they have all these behind the scenes content. They are extremely chaotic and they're playing around a lot, but while some members are playing around, other members are actually like hardcore practicing in front of a mirror, and like they'll just sort of play around that person and add to their performance. Just really fun interactions like that.
Yeah, and it really helps to connect with a fandom and a group, especially if you can relate to them, or like they kind of show their more human side with just the way they interact with each other and the friendships that they form. And it's very apparent and very visible that they want those friendships to be kind of like the center and like focus of like who they are as people. So I can understand that you connect with this very much.
I definitely think they had good group chemistry. And I think it's interesting how they compose their group, because they have two different teams, kind of like groups have vocal teams and dance teams. They have an on team and an off team, which in respect is basically like vocal focused and then performance focused. So the members are Hyojin, who's the on leader and main vocal. I think he got second place in Mix 9. And no?
I'm not. I think I think it's second. I think first was someone else.
Yeah, he got really far. I mean, a lot of their group did, and I think that was including one of their members that isn't with them now, based on just like contract negotiations. He's not in the group currently, but that was, what was it? Lau.
Yes, Laun.
Yeah, Laun. So. Yep, there's Hyojin, JS, which is the off leader, main dancer, choreographer, and Ishan, Wyatt, MK, and U. Ishan is also a vocalist. He's also known as the Fashion King, as you might know from the song My Name Is. They do a really good job introducing themselves in that song, which is why it was so easy to get into them. Wyatt, you'd know him from like his really deep voice. He's the main rapper. He also writes some of the lyrics. MK is a vocal rapper, and he actually works with the producers doing composing the music. And then U is the maknae, dancer, vocal, also helps choreograph some songs. And yeah, those are the members. Some of my favorite songs, definitely Beautiful, Beautiful, their most recent title track. Real good. I think everyone can agree, right? And
Crispy, can you?
Boy group song, totally.
And My Name Is super cute, makes you smile. They all wrote their own little parts to that where they introduce themselves as the members. I honestly think all groups should make this song because it's so sweet and wholesome and helps you get into them. And then some of their older songs, Why, We Must Love, are also really good. I don't know a lot of their B-sides, but I did listen to all of their albums, and definitely from their most recent album, The Realist is super interesting, just the way that the song is mixed, and it kind of has a dreamy pop vibe to it. And I think my favorite album was the We Must Love album. Just all of those songs are really good. Right?
Oh, I love Ice and Fire. Oh my god.
Yes, I have that added in my library.
Gosh, you Sims. All right, so kind of a more... well, I have a question. So you described a lot of like their music and kind of your favorite songs, which, you know, really shows that you did your research and you are a big On and Off fan.
I am now.
As far as like the week of, yes, you're a big Fuse. Fuse. How would you describe their music to someone who may only know like one or two songs? And how do you feel like that music differentiates from other boy groups?
I think they have a very interesting sound that's kind of like old school a cappella. Where they harmonize with each other in like very unique tones that they each have. And what makes them different from boy groups? I think it really is just their music. Their producing team is from Monotree, specifically Hwang Hyun, who also made songs like Moonbyul's Eclipse and G-Friend's Apple. So that gives you a good idea, if you know those songs, of what their sound kind of is. But I think everyone can agree that it's just their music that stands out most amongst everything. And then, of course, their music videos are beautiful and have a bit of lore in them, which I know you don't vibe with, Crispy.
All right, so speaking of lore, yes, yeah. I don't vibe with lore, but explain kind of a TLDR of the lore and what that does to either enhance your experience or at least to give you a little bit more connection to what they're trying to accomplish artistically.
So I didn't even consider that they might have lore, since I had only ever just enjoyed their songs. So when I think it was either Koala or Nina that mentioned they had lore, I was like, oh, okay, I gotta rewatch the music videos. And I think it's very obvious. I don't know why I didn't consider it before, but there's a lot of scenes in the future, in the past, with the members doing some sort of like teleportation stuff. And from my own research and my own assumptions, I kind of gathered that they're androids or some form of ultra human who are trying to figure out who they are by traveling through time and collecting memories. But you see, like in the Y music video, you see someone in a giant test tube and the members kind of like sitting around looking angsty, and someone with their shirt off, you see their back has light tattoos, kind of like Tron or something. And We Must Love, there's this fancy, possibly time-traveling watch, and you see the members running to, I think it was JS, and then he reaches out, but then disappears. So, yeah, a lot of their music videos have those multiple timelines and sort of that rewind, fast-forward sequence. You can make your own assumptions from watching them. There's also a little Amino blog I found that does a good compilation of translations and stuff from teasers that give you a more in-depth look into that.
So, Koala, you said you like their music, and that's what really draws you into it. How does lore, in the way that Therese described On and Off, kind of add to your experience? And is it something that you look forward to as far as like the next chapter in their story when a music video is presented?
I pretty much don't care about lore.
Sick.
I think it's very apparent if you like just get a TLDR about it, and you can already tell by their teasers and stuff. But I don't really deep dive into it because it's not that important to me. What gets me into a group is the music, and I don't really care about lore. Or for the beginning, I don't even care like personality wise. I need to like the music first to get into them, and the lore is not the like essential part that is keeping me in the fandom, but it is the quality of the music and whether I like it or not.
Well, let me ask you this. How do you feel like lore translates and connects with other people? So I know like from our perspective, it's not something that we look forward to or even pay attention to. But why do you think it is that lore really captures a lot of the hearts and minds of fans and new fans?
I think it's just like a series, so to speak, because with every comeback, there's like a new episode, and I think every comeback also ends up with a little cliffhanger. Because I remember, was it Y? I think it was Y, the MVY, when, was it Hyojin who was holding a gun and was about to shoot someone? I don't remember it, but the MV ended there, and of course, if you're invested into the lore, you're looking forward to the next comeback. And it doesn't matter whether you like the music or not, you will still watch the MV just for the purpose to see where the storyline is going, because in the end it's just a storyline in an alternative universe where you can see what is happening with the characters, and you will get invested to it like most of the times you do with like just, I don't know, me watching K-dramas. I also get invested to it and look forward to every episode.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Koala. Yeah, Therese, go ahead.
Sorry, I think to add to that, it's definitely for either people that are already fans or people that aren't huge music fans but huge story fans. So it also adds a little bit of second meaning to a lot of their songs. So their song My Name Is, it's just a really cute member song, but if you consider it with the lore, it's actually trying to ask the question, who am I? What my name is what, because I don't remember, I'm an android, I'm time traveling to find out. So you can add to it in that respect. I'm personally a person that enjoys lore because I really like storytelling. So when you can add music to that, it gives you a complete package.
So you said like you're a kind of person who really who enjoys lore and it adds to your experience. For On and Off, are they a group that you can just watch the music videos and get the story, or did you feel like you had to do a lot of background digging and research to put the pieces together?
No, I think you can definitely just watch the music videos and make your own assumptions if you want.
It's pretty present if you like, if you know that there's lore behind it.
And that actually is a little bit more accessible as far as like in my head, like how I'm processing it, because I'm not going to name any groups. We're not going to do that, not right now. But there's one group that I struggled with for so long because they have so much lore. And I only recently started to really love them because I just said, I'm just going to listen to their music. Like, stop talking to me about lore. Because I've watched all their music videos, and then someone who's a really big fan of them said like, oh, here's more lore. It's like, can I get this from the music video? And I wasn't so sure what the answer was. I don't remember it actually, but you're telling me like On and Off, like you can just watch the music video and enjoy it as a story altogether. And I think for me and like for newer fans, I feel like that's far more accessible as far as like trying to like understand what K-pop can do with lore, as opposed to like you having to do like a lot of background research or like following like so many other threads to like put it all together. So yeah, I will actually like give On and Off props for doing that, because that's quite an accomplishment, I'd say.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah,
It's hard to like, you don't want to go into all this different media just to find one thing that could be interpreted multiple ways.
Yeah.
I think it's enough to just watch their MVs in the chronological order, and you will get like the gist of the storyline.
So On and Off has about 5 albums, you said?
5 or 6.
5 or 6. So they've been around for a minute, right? And
oh yeah.
well, we can go into it a little bit later, but there is a member who is going to the military soon. Is that correct?
I don't think
Is
it's
it?
anytime soon.
Wait.
I think the
I have that.
oldest member is 94.
Oh, okay, so not too soon.
No, not
94.
too soon.
That should be like 2 years left.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they've got some time. So I did want to just ask, because like they've been around for so long, and you know there's a lot of competition for boy groups. What is it that keeps fans with On and Off? Like, why do fans stay? From your perspective, Therese.
Definitely the music, but I think they also have a lot of room to grow, especially considering their label and Oh My Girl's growth recently. I think they're using their budget in a good way that will allow them to expand. I've also seen a lot of sort of Western shows do more features on them as a rising K-pop group, and I think they'll grab a lot more fans that way. Actually, a funny story, I met this guy on Hinge, and I just mentioned briefly, like, oh yeah, I like K-pop, and he's like, oh yeah, I don't really listen to K-pop, but I do really like this one group called ONF, and
Oh my god.
I thought it was so strange that this, like, very much local general public guy didn't know any K-pop, but he knew On and Off.
All right, so there's a lot to unpack there. First of all, perhaps a future segment is Hinge Talk on the SojuTalk Nation.
Oh my god.
Let's put a pin in that. Second note, I think that's super interesting that a random person found this group, and I think that speaks to their sound and their style, right? Where yes, it is Western friendly, but it's very clearly K-pop still. And to me, I think like that is a big accomplishment for casual fans. And I feel like the word casual gets thrown around like in a very like diminishing way, where it's like, no, like casual just means like you enjoy an experience of something without the necessity or like the desire to like go super into it. And if a fan base and a group can like hit that like feeling in a random person, I feel like that says a lot about like their direction and what they can do artistically and musically. Qual, what do you think about like random people like coming across like On and Off and it staying with them?
I think it's happening more often now, especially after Road to Kingdom, because before they did not chart on the Korean charts at all, and now they had their first win. They are charting better than most of the boy groups that are like popular, I would say. And it's nice to see that many people are like acknowledging them and their music, and just their first win. I think the first win is also just like a new start for a group, because from that moment on it most of the time changes a bit, because now they see that they actually like have a bigger fandom to accomplish this kind of achievement.
Yeah.
Therese, did you have a follow-up to any of that?
Well, yeah, I think their first one was very touching, but yeah. I think Ishan is my bias. I think that has been established. Either Ishan or JS, and go listen to their album. My Name Is. All of their songs are really good.
Listen to everything. Everything is so good.
Yeah,
like everything
for real.
So to wrap up our little Soju Simps segment here, specifically with On and Off, and I know both of you guys are very big fans. Therese did an excellent job researching and really getting the experience in about a week. Koala's been there musically for some time, but I feel like now she might want to be into the lore. Yeah, maybe.
No,
It's okay.
it's lore.
I wanted to ask both of you, what do you expect and hope for them moving forward?
I definitely hope that they rise to the top tier of K-pop groups along with their whole label, because I also really like Oh My Girl and B1A4, just so that it can grow their company and they can keep making music like that.
I definitely just hope after, I think, yeah, My Name was the first full album, that after their first full album, they maybe try to change up a bit to see what style of music they could explore, as well as just expanding their fandom and being like escaping that mid-tier of boy groups we all know, because there's just a bunch of boy groups that are all stuck in one tier that are like not unknown, but they are just not up there yet. And I hope they will maybe get to the B, A, or S tier sometime.
Nice. Well, thank you, Therese, for your expertise and your research this week with the Soju Simps and On and Off. Yeah, go ahead.
Quick plug. If the listeners have any suggestions to the next group I should get into, I really like all of the groups. So tell me who needs more attention.
Yeah.
And maybe I can do another segment.
Awesome. All right. Well, that closes things up on the Soju Sims for this week in the SojuTalk Nation. Moving on to the end of the show. Just our weekly check-in, our closing thoughts. Since we have Therese on, let's ask her first. What are you looking forward to next week in K-pop, the community, in life, and just how are you feeling, Therese?
Oh, pretty good. Of course, there's Rose. I think that's probably going to be the biggest thing anyone's looking out for. I am not the biggest Blackpink/Rose fan, so I'm curious to see if she can hook me the way
Crispy's crying right now.
Hooked so many of you.
I'm going to defer and say, Koala, what are you looking forward to next week?
Oh my god.
Yep.
I don't know, so YG is doing many moves. I hope I can finally buy that freaking line collaboration with Treasure. The J-Boys are in Japan right now. They are debuting soon, so I'm looking forward to their Japanese debut. Looking forward to Rosie. Looking forward to Penthouse. Oh my god, Crispy. Penthouse.
All right, so that's
wait.
Go ahead.
Wait, what day is it today? It's Wednesday, right? I'm not looking forward to going to school next week. I need to wake up. Yeah,
that's rough.
I need to wake up at 5 a.m. again.
Oh man, that's the time I wake up to watch stuff. Cool.
There is the Grammys on Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Very
not watching that. I need sleep.
Oh man. So yeah, Rose, Blackpink. That's all I'll say.
Wow.
No thoughts, only Rosie.
She means quite a bit to me and my personal K-pop fandom and journey and the things that I appreciate. I think I've mentioned many times in the past, so I will just leave it at that. Penthouse, yeah. Oh, so I'm watching Itaewon Class right now. I finished episode 4 last night.
Excellent.
Very good.
I could tell.
I want to watch more, but I don't.
But
I'm bad at binging. Like, I'm really good at watching things in like 2, maybe 3 episode segments because it feels like a movie. But if you're asking me to watch like 6 in a row, I'm gonna need to like lay down and like like I need Doug's setup where like he watches it on his phone and like has the arm like the phone arm
Oh
attached,
my
and he's just
god.
laying down like a futuristic like person in a pod, like the people from Wall-E. Yeah.
Oh my.
So that's
Is that
what.
what it feels like if you're 90?
Yeah, that's what I kind of need. Because like when I'm at my computer, I'm very engaged. So I'm like in my like chair, and I have my computer, my keyboard, and my mouse. So I'm like very tempted to open up other things. So like 3 hours is probably my max that I can focus on something on my computer. Yeah, but if I'm
That
like,
makes sense.
but if I'm laying down, if I set it up like Doug, you got some tips? You can help me out.
Well,
and-
maybe you should get a TV.
No, my monitor's great. It's just my monitor's also my computer, so it's it's a thing.
Yeah.
As far as the Grammys, I mean, I guess there's a group that's important.
That may change the history of K-pop as we know it. No, that's
Spoken
dramatic.
like
But
a true army. Yep.
it is very exciting
Yeah, I imagine
for the whole
there's
industry.
going to be a lot of conversation about that.
All right, well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Any closing thoughts? Anything you'd like to tell the SojuTalk Nation, Therese, while you're here?
Uh, keep simping and carry on.
Thank you for listening to the SojuTalk Nation Podcast, Episode 9.
Subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify or your preferred podcast platform, and continue the conversation on the SojuTalk Kpop Podcast Discord.
This has been the SojuTalk Nation for Therese and Koala. This is Crispy. Bye.
Bye!